Okay, so I haven't really talked about crate and rotate before, confine and rotate, but basically this is where you're living in a multi-dog household, and you have dogs that don't get along with one another. So there's some combinations that work, some don't. Like they may all not work. I don't know. Like each household's different, but yeah, crate and rotate, confine and rotate is exactly what it sounds like. As far as you spend time with one dog or some combination of dogs out in the open, in the home, and then or the residence. Then they go up. They're crated. They're confined. They have something to work on. You want to make sure that they're not distressed when they're confined, which is going to make it harder if they are. And this is a heck of a lot easier said than done. But then you go on to the next dog or the next combination of dogs, whatever's possible, whatever's feasible. So, like, I'm under the assumption, like, I'm operating under the assumption that you have, like, 3 dogs, 4 dogs tops, okay? This is not for, like, people that have more than 4 dogs, they're already more of an expert, like, in terms of making it work. At one point, I think I had as many as 6 dogs in one residence when I was working at the shelter. So something that you can consider, like, certainly before you start giving anybody away, before you start relinquishing any dogs or surrendering any dogs, is if you have a backyard, you have a confined backyard, fenced in, I want to assess whether the dogs are getting along in that space. Like, if you have a situation that's cropped up where your dogs have started to not get along, first thing you want to do is check out Dr. Ian Dunbar's bite-to-fight ratio, and assess where they're at. That's a very binary like assessment. So his bite-to-fight ratio, go check that out. It's not as elaborate as the Ian Dunbar bite scale, but that'll give you somewhere to start. So, like, if this is something new that's cropping up, you always want to go, like, check to see if there might be a underlying medical condition. But something that I want to know is, like, is this only happening inside of the house, or is this happening inside and outside? So there's a lot of times where the dogs will go out for, like, recess, if you will, like in the backyard, and everybody gets along fine, especially if there's no resources out there. I don't know, maybe, sometimes they're doing fine with the resources, with toys out there. Like, it's not a given. Every dog is different. Every, like, combination of dogs is different permutations and combinations of dogs. Sorry, super tired. Yeah, you assess whether they can make it work. You can make it work outside, because if you make it work outside, you can get a lot, like, of bonding time done. Like, you can get a lot of bonding done, you can get a lot of enrichment done, or exercise, like play. But if they have conflict inside the house, then yeah, you're going to want to use confine and rotate, or crate and rotate, or maybe you set dogs up on a fixed point system, like, as an alternative to actually putting them in, like, a box, putting them in a crate or whatever. So that's where you might consider using fixed point system. I had a couple videos ago, just like probably 2 videos ago, talking about fixed point system. But maybe you have to do that because you got a dog that won't crate, that is highly distressed in, like, a confinement space like that. So like, when I used to work at one of the facilities that I was at, we had these D-rings, these anchors, like, in the wall, like in our play area, in our, like, classroom area, so you could just hook a dog up. And so, like, maybe I don't expect you to do that in your own home, but, like, if you own your own home, yeah, do it. Like, make sure that everybody has their own spot and nobody can get in each other's bite zone, and you hook them up to their, like, respective stations. They have comfy bed, the comfy targets or whatever to lay on if they're so inclined. They have 360 degrees of that slack provided by the leash that's hooked up to that ring and that anchor that's also connected to their harness and over their neck. And you give them something to work on. You give them something to do, like when they're assigned to their tether, their anchor or whatever. Okay, as an alternative certainly to letting them all run around like in close quarters and getting in fights, getting in conflicts, if that's the case that you find, if that's the situation you find yourself in, and then also as an alternative to using like traditional confinement, traditional crating and rotating. Okay. Again, it's really late. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm recording this video on my lunch. Again, I'm working overnight shifts right now, seeing if I can make this work, so I can work towards personal goals, family goals. Maybe get my kids some insurance. Get my daughter some insurance. That'd be good. TMI. But if you made it through this video, then I appreciate it. Appreciate you sticking around. If you'd like to give it a like, that'd be great. If you're not subscribed, maybe check that out. Don't, whatever. But it's always cool to see like another follower pop up. So obviously I started at 0. I made this channel originally when I was working with for another company, and so I didn't really notice getting some subscribers here and there, but it's at 54 or something like that right now, so that's pretty cool. I mean, that's like a drop in the bucket, especially when you're on YouTube, a platform like YouTube. But that, I appreciate those 54 people. That's really cool. Anyway, all right, thanks.